All right. This is where the show
Hmm.
start right here. This is where the show start.
All
This is where the
right.
show start.
Oh, that was just a warm up.
That was just
All
the
right.
That was
warm
just a
up. This is the
prelude.
recording. Because Wayne, we gonna shout out Wayne Walls again because he had me all messed up. I forgot to press record. Okay,
Oh, okay.
we
Okay.
gonna
Okay.
we gonna blame him. He's still talking
All
mess
right.
on Facebook. So, all right, y'all. I got once again. Okay, let's start. I got Woods WRX Media in the building, y'all. Let's go ahead and get this show started. All right. So, since
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is your first time on Sessions with Alita, there's some questions and stuff I like to ask folks. All right. Um. Okay. So, Shanti.
Yeah.
So, what was Ashanti like in elementary school?
Oh man, Ashanti was definitely discovering herself, and then I actually was rapping at 10 years old. I discovered one of my cousins' raps in the bathroom, right? What a place to discover a written rhyme. And I was like, I could do that too, because during a time in elementary school, I believe like first, second grade, I was actually writing short stories. I would illustrate them
Mhm.
myself, cut out the paper, write little short stories. And when I saw the rhyme in the bathroom, I was like, oh, this is just stories rhyming. So started rapping at 10 years old and just was heavily involved in the church, you know, um, heavily involved in the church. My grandma, my grandfather, my mom, my aunties, my uncle, just all involved in the music scene. And then, being involved in church, I was an active participant because my mom became the youth director, I believe, around that time also. I was about 10 years old. So I was always doing something in the church. Of course, you got those plays, you got those Christmas plays, you got Easter speeches. So music is a part of that. And then, elementary school grew me into, you know, writing more, rhyming more. And then Vacation Bible School hit when I was 12 years old. That was already going on, of course. So, in Vacation Bible School, at the end of the week, you have to say what you learned. Your class has to do a presentation. And my homegirls was like, hey, Shanti can rap. Shanti can rap. So I did the little presentation, got something going on with the class and everything, and then did the rap. And the pastor was like, hey, can you do that for you Sunday, which was 2 days later. And I was like, sure. So that's what elementary school was for me, coming into the music scene. And of course I was an A and B student. I was a good girl. I couldn't be nothing but a good girl because of who my family was. People knew my family around Sacramento, grew up in North Highlands. Everybody knew everybody. We went to school with the same people, went to church with the same people.
Mm.
So I was a good girl. I couldn't do nothing, or else they get Mama Russian on me. And
Oh,
then, Mama Jackie, rest in peace, they get her on me too. So,
wow.
heavily involved in positivity. So that's what elementary school was like for me. That's when I first got into the music. For
Mm.
real, for real.
I do have to say this. I need to shout out a happy birthday to Swift Rilla. He is watching. So, yeah, he's got the
Happy
he
Happy
birthday
birthday,
birthday.
Swift.
Yeah,
from the
you know,
woods. Yep.
yes, most definitely. All right, Daryl. What was Daryl like
In
before Torch?
elementary,
Oh yeah.
uh, Daryl before Torch. I mean, Daryl before Torch and Torch before Daryl. They're the same people. I haven't changed. I mean,
Were you known as
even as
Torch
a
in
kid, I was
elementary?
nah, not elementary, but I mean, I had other nicknames that I don't need to bring back up. But
Okay, let's go.
let's just say always adventurous, always doing something. And elementary was, I was definitely a good student. Like she said, I had straight A's. My mom, she ain't play that. My pops, she ain't play that. But sports and more sports. You know, I was always involved in sports. My dad kept me active, kept me involved. You know, kept me out the way. You know, I grew up in Stockton. So, you know, growing up in Stockton, being that young, especially having a lot of cousins and a lot of families living, you know, in Conway, you know, living in Nightingale, in certain areas, you know, you grow up around life. So, you know, Pops kept me busy to make sure I stayed out of trouble, which was a good thing. You know, once we moved to Sacramento, life changed a little bit for me, but that was post elementary. But, you know, yeah, elementary was locked in and focused. You know, it's the reason why I got a brain on me now. It's because them early years, them developmental years, you know, my mom, she made me lock in. So, you know, wasn't no playing around. If I wanted to be outside, I had to make sure them grades is right. So,
Okay. What about Daryl? What about junior high?
junior high was a little different because, you
You like?
know,
I can tell you
uh,
laughed. Okay.
I moved, yeah, because I moved to Sac, you know what I mean? I moved to Valley High, start going to Jackman, you know what I mean? I start, you know what I'm saying, messing with girls, you know what I mean? Getting a little more unfocused. So, middle school was a hot mess, but it was a good time. You know what I mean? I still play sports, but you know them A's went to B's. You know that focus wasn't necessarily as sharp. Parents separated. You know, so it's you know different lifestyle altogether. You know, going from having both my parents, you know, right there to you know being either at my dad's house or my mom's house, still staying busy. But you know, back then they both got to work. You know, they got to go to work. They got to be there all day. I got a house key, so you know I'm outside. Yeah, I mean, I knew what time to get home, but I'm outside all day. You know what I mean? I just what it was. You know what I mean? Especially growing up in Valley High, you know, you had to be outside. You had to know what's going on. So middle school was fun. I feel like that's where I developed a lot of my personality, met a lot of my friends, had a lot of these older cats take me on adventures I probably shouldn't have been on, but they make for great memories. You know what I mean? But yeah, I didn't have the church upbringing she had. I was around church people, so it was good. I made sure I got my feel and all, but yeah, I got a full taste of Sacramento from Valley High to I don't know. As a young man, you know, it was a lot, but it was good. You know, it was fun. Thank you, Sacramento. I appreciate y'all.
Oh my goodness! Whoa, Ashanti, what about you? Junior high.
Oh, junior high was slamming for me. I started getting really into the music scene. You know, that's when like TLC came out. When Ain't Too Proud to Beg, right? And then with the video, you know, we see the video first. The music videos playing on the box, remember?
Yes.
And so they had the cross colors popping off. You know what I'm saying? The cross colors popping off. And then my older brother, rest in peace, got me into a lot of fashion, right? So not only with the cross colors, got hip to Jabos, got hip to Z Carvicis, and got hip to Carl Kanai, you know, Sergio Valente, you know. And this crazy thing is, you know, there's the auction out here in Roseville, Denials, and then Galt, right? We had the knockoff. We go get the knockoff stuff. We thought we was doing something, you know what I'm saying, Lita? You know? So that's junior high was, you know, cool. That's when I got my first recording session. My mom set it up. First recording session. I used to play the music I recorded for my friends, you know, in choir class. I was in choir. So yeah, junior high school did the music, and I also played basketball. So I played basketball 7th and 8th grade, right? I was point guard, of course. I'm only 5 foot deuce. You know, put me behind the line, and I'll be running around back and forth. You know what I mean? You know, running the play, trying to shoot them. You know, them 10-footers and them 3-pointers. But yeah, junior high was fun for me. That's man, like growing up in North Highlands, Don Julio, shout out Don Julio, you know what I mean? Right? Before it became, I don't know what it is now. So that's, you start getting your friendships built like that are going to be the last ones, you know, learning how to focus, learning how to, you know, balance um, the school life with the rhyming, And that's when I started doing shows as well too. So when I say shows, Alita, mind you, I'm like 13 years old now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually getting invited to churches to do Christian hip hop.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean? You know, some people still at that time was not with it. However, the ones who were with it, you know, they would invite me to the churches and I would do Christian hip hop. You know what I'm saying? That's something I love to do because like it was something that my grandma respected. My grandma was proud. Like I was rapping, you know, about the Most High God. You know how I most for the most part call Yahweh or Adonai. You know, however, she was very proud of me. You know what I'm saying? You know, that was high.
I forgot to say something about middle school, and it's funny since we are talking to you,
Yeah.
and you brought up doing shows.
Mm.
You know, one of my first shows early on was performing at Jackman during the last rally, you know, before we get out of school. And one of my first songs was to Ghetto Blues instrumental. Shout out to Marvelous, though. You know what I mean? Marvelous, man, had your boy up there in the room writing with the notepad out, going crazy. You know what I mean? Because it used to be Ghetto Blues on the A side with the instrumental, and I think it was Sibo on the my bad, Sibo on the A side, Marvelous on the B side. Either way it go, I know I had the little single tape. Play one side, flip it over, play the other side, and wouldn't even have to rewind it because I'm just writing, bumping it. My boy General Shims, shout out to you, man, because that was my partner in rhyme at the time. You know, said Jackman Middle School, man, the teachers didn't know what to do, but they let us do it because I don't know what they was thinking, but they let us do it, and we had the best time ever. And to this day, people still laugh about that one and another performance. But that was, yeah, shout out Marvelous, man, Ghetto Blues,
Have you ever,
instrumental.
Up
you
and
ever
out of
told Marvelous?
Sacramento.
You ever told Marvelous that story?
Yeah.
I feel like I told her like once. I think she was at the house with Sean one day, and I think I did tell the story, but because actually no, I didn't tell her that story. I told her the one from high school because I actually did that song in Texas and got to meet people from Rap A Lot Records doing my same song I wrote in 8th grade, performing that song out there in Texas for Juneteenth, and got to meet some executives from Rap A Lot Records, and it was whole situation, but it was, yeah. So I did get to share that with her. So
did you meet Big Country from Rap A Lot?
man, I was 13. I'm 40 something years old right now. I don't remember them people's
You
name
were
like that.
like the
I just
names.
know what
You remember Big Country?
but
Big Country. He was my.
what tripped me out is because this how it happened. So my uncle, they live in Odessa, and so I came out to the run track, and they had me rap at the little Juneteenth festival. Just slide in, let my nephew get on stage. He's from California. They like, oh, okay. The Rap A Lot was the judge because the winner of the contest got to open up for the Ghetto Boys.
Okay.
And so I rap before him, you know, everybody go crazy. I leave. I go to track practice. I get a call. They done somehow found my uncle, you know, small town, called him, then called my parents back in California, asking if I can come rap at the show too. So it was a crazy circumstance. Just like I said, I'm off the plane just going to rap, be with my family. And but again, marvelous song though, that beat, that California flavor is what did it. You know, just being from Sacramento.
Wow. We got another Sac legend that just joined, Young Meek. I still call him Young Meek. I don't care. It's my brother Miko. He will always
Oh, what up,
be
Miko?
me.
Oh no, wait, Nico.
Miko, Young Meek. Now you
Oh,
talk
Meek,
about
Yeah,
M
Bo,
with the M. Meek.
Sibo's,
Okay, I thought you were saying Nick.
yeah, Sibo's brother. He's actually Sibo's brother.
Oh, see, what up,
Yeah,
Meek? We
he's
haven't
a legend.
personally, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Young Miko. You couldn't go nowhere in Sac without seeing his stuff plastered all over Sacramento. Yeah, he's a true legend. Shout out family, and shout out to we talking about junior high and stuff. I'm from Seaside, and my best friend from elementary school, Veronica, is watching right now. She's on too, so it's kind of crazy.
okay.
Shout out to the best friend.
Yeah, we've been friends since since 6th grade.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, since sixth
Yeah,
grade.
man.
So,
Huh?
all right. Daryl, high school.
High school was dope. I mean, like, I ain't one of them people who didn't like high school. You know what I mean? I got, I had some real ones around me. Rest in peace, Fernando Nadal. That was my boy. You know what I mean? I had my boy Ben Shepherd, my boy Manuel Rustin. I mean, I had too many people to name, you know what I mean? But I got to experience good times. I played football. I ran cross country at the same time as a freshman. I won a section championship as a freshman in cross country. I did very well in track and field all 4 years of high school. Um, you know what I mean? I got to experience life. I got to perform at my school's last rally of the year in high school. So I got to close out middle school rapping, and I got to close out my freshman year rapping at the school too. You know, and it's just high school was fun for me. You know, I got to really explore and write and be creative. I went to two schools. I went to Laguna and I went to Valley. At Laguna, it was brand new, so I could really just try things. And as long as it was above board, they let me try stuff. And so, like I said, they let us rap at the Black Light Rally. They let us, be creative. They let people dance and break dance on the quad and everything else. So it was a real creative environment. And in Valley, I got to really dive into my sports. That's where I really got to focus, because that's what got me to college was running cross country and running track. And so,
Ran track.
I mean,
Okay.
like Valley, I got to be around people I looked up to, like Damon Willer, Antoine Simmons, and Tyrone Martin, Jeremiah Farms, like Darnell Robinson, being around these athletes that all went on to be great. Willie Kane, even his kids, daughters, now she's a great basketball player at Washington. Like, just going to be around that great DNA and them people who are really, for lack of a better term, dogs. You know what I mean? And seeing how they train and seeing what made them different, that got me locked into my sport. So, high school, after freshman year, music really kind of took a break. I really was focused on sports, but that's what took me to college. And college is where I picked music back up again and just never let it go. So,
Okay. All right, Sean, what about high school with you?
High school was fun. I reminisce a lot. Want to go back sometimes. Sometimes, you know what I mean? Especially the part where I did not have to pay bills, you know. But yeah, so I played ball, skipped out basketball freshman year, played 10th through 12th grade. And ever since I got to high school, I was just preparing to be a senior, just preparing to be a senior, wanting to get into all the activities, had to start thinking about what one thing I wanted as a senior, because we wasn't born with silver spoons in our mouths, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, yeah, things changed after moms got married while I was in junior high school. So yeah, um, you start getting into you start really seeing the multicultural side of North Highlands, and started, getting involved with different people, activities, like I said, basketball, and then a lot of the rallies. Like Tor said, I did rap at some of the rallies, got to actually come out of class early for a couple of multicultural day events, you know what I mean, where I would rap, stuff like that. Um, got involved in politics too in high school. You know, participated in a walkout that ended up on the news.
What?
You know what I'm saying? And I was praying that my grandma was watching soaps and not that part. But the crazy
shout out grandma, because she'd have been knowing you too. I already know.
Right.
Miss Mabel.
Right? Yes, rest in peace, Miss A. Right. But the crazy thing, Alita, is like one of the hall monitors, rest in peace, Miss McNeil, Miss Fannie McNeil. She also went to the church that I grew up in, right? So her daughters went to the school as well, and her niece and her nephew. Mind you, these are the same people I'm going to church with and going to school with. Remember, I said that a little while ago. So Alita, just from the walkout, we all did it, and she was there, and but skipping school, some classes, yeah, I skipped, and she would actually find out about it, rest in peace, Miss Fanny. But I'm gonna circle back and then leap forward. Freshman year, I got a whiff of where I was actually located suburban wise. And when I say suburban, I mean below the urban. So got a glimpse of Highlands High School and what was involved and what was around me. I didn't grow up sheltered. However, we grew up pretty much secure and protected, and we were disciplined. You know what I mean? So freshman year, the first day of school, right? It was cool getting to know people, right? And I took the bus to my grandma's house, right? My grandma's the one who stayed close to the school. So getting on the bus, and we're over by the basketball courts, the concrete basketball courts, and I'm waiting for the bus driver to hit that gas and let's go, right? So most of us who were on that bus. There turned out to be right there at the basketball courts a fight, a brawl between the Bloods and the Crips, right? Crazy thing is, 9 cop cars, I remember it, 9 police cars had to come. And I saw one chick, I don't know where she's at today, but I saw one chick take one of the police baton and start, and I was like, yo, is this kind of what high school gonna be somewhat? And yeah, you start to see, some blood, some Crip stuff, you start to see some gang stuff, growing up, coming home from church one Sunday, there was actually a drive-by in front of my grandmama's house. The person only got hit in the leg, they survived, right? Got to the point where we could no longer play in the front yard, had to go play in the backyard. But high school was fun. High school was fun. It was cool. I still did the gospel music thing, but things were starting to get a little I was starting to get a little up in age, so you start feeling yourself a little bit. So I kind of took a little bit of a backseat on doing Christian hip hop because the lifestyle that I was living, just to me, it didn't match what I was, being given in church. So I still had that, how you teeter totter, because you're young, you're in your adolescence. So yeah, and then graduation came. That was fun. Graduation was fun. I looked forward to that time. Got to wear a thespian. Got to wear a thespian pin because I did drama. I was in drama. Did some. Yep, I was involved in the plays. I don't know if I can't remember if it was my junior and senior year, but definitely my senior year. So from the microphone and then doing the acting on stage, I kind of
It's crazy to hear you say that.
Yeah.
Cause I'm listening to you talk about that, and I didn't realize like your experience with that, like with especially the gang parts about that happening like in your high school career.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang man, I moved from Stockton to be safe up here. That's why my father moved up here because they was hanging out, gang banging on our driveway when I was in elementary school.
Man.
Like it was so like only one commonplace. Like it's not even something I even think of no more. Like my mom was in the drive-by and she almost was shot. Like, but the bullet got stuck in the door. Like, we trip on this all the time. And I'm listening to you say, this didn't happen till high school. And I'm just like, I can only imagine.
Crazy.
And it make me think about all these other kids out here that go through life like this, like, because as bad as you think you might have it, I can only imagine what somebody else going through that they think is normal, when they move into somewhere that's new to them. Like, it's a reason why somebody came and moved to where you at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, think about that. Like, whoever they are, they came and moved to see your neighborhood was like, hey, this is a good place to move. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's people come through life and go through a lot of stuff, and it happens at different stages, but it seems like life happens to everybody.
Everybody,
So it's just a trip hearing you tell that story, because I don't know if I've ever heard you tell it from that perspective.
Wow.
Remember that, you know what I'm saying? And I do want to say one more thing about high school. A couple of things. So I had this crew, and I want to shout out King Coop, shout out Denise Coop from True Conglomerate. You know what I'm saying? But Coop, I grew up in church with Coop. He's part of the Miller mob. You know what I mean? With Big Lurch. That's what we called Liddell Big Lurch because he was
Oh.
6'4".
Uh-huh.
But I was driving my whole senior year. I had a great thing to look forward to, which was driving my mom's car. My older sister. My older sister.
Shout
She
out
was
to
the first to
mom.
drive mom's car. Then the brother under her, then me. So I had to look forward to it, right? So my whole senior year, I was able to drive my mom's car, got my license. You know what I'm saying? And during that time, right? So I got to drive myself to basketball practices, and I got to drive the homies from church around. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said shout out King Coop, Tim Coop, Tim Cooper. So it used to be me, Alita. It used to be me, my little brother Larry, Tim, and Dale. We used to be riding my mom's car all around town, but we would go church hopping. So we treated church like the club, Alita. We would just, and that was something we could do. As long our people was like, as long as you in the church,
Mhm.
okay, we understood what you was doing elsewhere sometime, but so we would go drive and we had, we went to a musical here, went to a musical there. You know what I'm saying? Right? We was treating church like the club. And the crew, when it was my little brother, Tim, Liddell, and me, we would call ourselves Get Right or Get Left, right? And we had these shirts. We
Mhm.
had these different color shirts. At the Art and Fair Mall, you go get the press
Oh,
on
that's
letters on the
right.
back of the
Yeah.
Or,
Man,
man,
I
we
remember
didn't we
that.
wasn't we wasn't that bad with the shirts, but I did have my boys, and it's funny, their last name was Miller too. So shout out to my boy Mario Miller, Myron Miller, you
Mm.
know what I'm saying? Excuse me, Maurice Miller, my boy Kenneth McCrae, my boy Langston Ravada. We used to go over there and we will be hooping everywhere. Vintage Park, Rio, Valley High Park, the Firehouse, where we could find it. But all these dudes, I'm the smallest one, at 5'8" at the time. All these dudes over 6 foot. We squeezing in a '74 Super Beetle to go hoop. So you got 4 6 foot brothers in here with me driving with the seat pushed all the way up. But we go out and we go hoop. And little young Maurice was so good, like he was one of the best players in his era in the league, and his brothers wasn't no slouches either. The Millers could hoop, but like y'all will say, you go to church events, we go into every park we could find something trying to hoop,
Oh,
And high school, that's why I say high school was fun. I mean, Sacramento had a lot of time available for you if you could get out the house and go do it. If you could move around, if you had a vehicle,
Yeah.
it was stuff for you to get into.
right.
Yep.
Now, Denise Cooper, Denise Cooper. She said looking
Yeah,
like
that's
she said looking like
what she got.
crayons. She said looking like crayons.
Yes, they used to call us the Crayola box when Get Right or Get Left came through. You know what I'm saying? They was like, who came up with that name? I'm like, shoot, it made sense to us, right? You know what I'm saying? We was trying to get right because there was this church song, right? Get right before you get left. You know what I'm saying?
Trying
And
to
we
remember
just
that
took
one.
that, like, yo,
That
that
is
make all.
hilarious.
It's
I didn't see that one coming
oh
today.
my God.
No.
So speaking of, Shanta, you come from a very musical family, right? Shout out to my boy Larry. You know what I mean? What is
Yeah.
his the best? I mean, Walter,
Shout
I
out
love you.
Larry.
Walter, I love you. But Larry Belton, he like my first favorite drummer. you know. And how did you
Yeah.
feel when you saw him on? I was so proud when I saw him on the Nickelodeon thing that time. Remember, I forgot who he was playing drums for. He
Yeah,
was
the
running
teen
for
the
Nickelodeon
Teen Choice
Award.
Award.
Yeah. How was you feeling when you
Yeah.
saw that?
Was that I think that was the Teen Choice Awards
Yes.
for Jason Derulo, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yo, Alita, I was like, man, I was like, look at that boy good. It's about time. Not playing. Hey,
Yeah.
Larry, My little brother Larry. I was talking to him earlier today. Shout out. He deserves it.
Yes.
You know why, Alita? You said he was your he was your first favorite drummer. He wasn't mine. And I'm gonna tell you why.
Who was it?
You have to.
Wait a minute. Who was
What?
it?
Wait, what?
You say what?
Who was your first favorite drummer?
Not him yet. Not him yet. And I'm gonna tell you why. Alita, Larry was playing on everything. Pots and pans, the back of the car seat, everything he could get his hands since he was 3 years old. Okay? Since he was 3 years old. And remember Toys R Us? The little drum sets, they had the paper heads on them, right? Our dad, me and Larry's dad, got him one of them Toys R Us drum sets.
Oh, Lord.
He tore that thing up. He played it all the time. My mom let him play it. Dad let him play it all the time. And I think when he became like maybe 5 years old, he then started going to drum lessons with Floyd Kennedy.
Mm.
I used to go to him to his practices. So Larry's been playing the drums since then, right? Now, Larry got an upgraded junior drum set for Cribman one year, right? This is probably when he was, I don't know. If he watching, he can let me know. Maybe 6 or 7 years old, Alita.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Maybe 6 or 7 years old. Alita. We only had, Saturday a little bit of time to have to ourselves, because Saturday we had to clean up, right? But Sunday morning, that was my time to try to sleep in before we had to go to church service in the morning. My mom, rest her soul, my mom made sure that that junior drum set was in her room, right? She put it in her room. Mm-hmm. The rest of the house sleep. Sunday morning, here come Larry. Go to my mama room and get on them drums. It wasn't like you hear now. It didn't sound like he sound right now. But that's why he is my favorite drummer now. Because Alita, every chance he got, he was playing drums. That's why his name is Animal from the Muppets. Because guess what? The eat, sleep, drum, eat, sleep, drum. That's why his name is Animal. It's not just a nickname. He was Animal from the Muppets. And yeah, so yeah,
you know
every week it was like that.
What I love about Larry is, as big, he's done work with so many famous people, but he still got that humble heart. You see, Larry,
yeah, he do.
He's still the same. He's still that little man. When I met y'all at Genesis, he was one of the little kids running around. You know what I mean? He's still the same. When he sees me,
yes, he is.
he makes, he hugs me, we smile, we laugh and stuff, and I'm still so proud of him. So, all right.
Yeah,
so
me too. Me too.
Let's go ahead and talk about, you did a few, both of you guys have done a few rap, I don't know what to call it nowadays, album CDs or whatever they call it now, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, Shanti, you went by Sean, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And Daryl, you Torch, right? Or is that it? Or Torch?
Yeah, Torch One Blazing.
That's what it was. Okay, thank you okay, Torch One Blazing. So, how many projects did each of you guys put out?
I mean, so I dropped 2 projects officially. I dropped 5 in the morning. That was out the trunk. That one was one of my better selling projects. I've traveled up and down California through Nevada with that project. That's where a lot of people know me from. I dropped the Man Cave on iTunes when we were transitioning to the digital era. Since then, I've written and done a lot of singles and music for people, other people, or projects here and there. I'm with a project with Bro Perry that we did a Just Scott remix to for the Queens of Hip Hop project that he did out there in New Orleans. I got a couple songs I've written for in London. And so, I got some R&B project. I was working with Kumandi where we wrote together on two of his projects.
That's right. Shout
So
out to
we,
Commander.
I have two R&B projects. And shout out to Kumandi for giving me that blessing opportunity to even work with him because that's a great singer, a great person, and an even greater artist. So he blessed me to work on both of those projects. And like I said, a bunch of other little small projects here and there that, I could talk about for a long time, but some of these brothers have passed on and I just don't want to tear up and on the show. But yeah, I've been lucky to be around a lot of people, even meeting like Mighty Mike, I meet DJ Mighty Mike through some of these other brothers on projects I work with. Who I'm thinking about. What's my producer? Mugab. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Mugab. You know what I'm saying? Shout out T Nutty. You know what I'm saying? I done got to do a
Yes.
song with T Nutty. Shout out Bueno.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I done
Yes.
got to work with Bueno,
City of
So I mean
Trees.
I've done
City of Trees, y'all.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
City of
shout out City of
Trees.
Trees. Make sure y'all check that out, man. City of Trees. Anything that the city put on, we gotta make sure we support. But
All right.
yeah, I've been blessed to work with a lot of people. I've even done a lot of jazz work with BTU Arts, Element Brass Band, who's another big time New Orleans style jazz band. I've been out performing with them for years. I'll step in and do a lot of hip hop. BTU Arts allowed me to become a teacher out here. So I teach hip hop to a lot of students. We're helping them build their confidence, how to rap, perform, write their songs, make their beats, get organized at least with the basics. So when they're coming to your studio, they're not just lost. So I've been, like I said, quad through a lot of stuff. You know, what's that band name I was just saying right now?
Solidarity.
Yeah, I would shout out Solidarity. I was just with Solidarity for the last 2 years, year and a half. We had the Torch Club. We were performing that every Wednesday, doing shows there. Broderick's did a show at our place. I've been around performing a long time, doing a lot of things. Shout out Aaron Jones. He always putting me on when he get a chance and I got time.
Shout out Mr. I've been on.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, a lot of people in the city know me, know what I do musically. Like I said, album-wise, it's 2 official ones, but I've been a part of, about 5, 6 projects that I've made some noise out here.
Prodigy and T.
Oh yeah, man. See, shout out Prodigy and T, my whole label. I mean, if I even thank you for reminding me. Prodigy and T is where it all really blew up for me. Working with my boy Larry Berry, KP out of Patton. Shout out HBO. HBO is an artist. A lot of these young brothers know him and
DJ
DJ Fetty.
Yeah.
I mean M1. I mean, like I said, list goes on and on. I mean, it's a lot of people out here I've worked with and done a lot of writing and worked with and song production and engineering for out here. So,
what part of the music you do so much, like performing and writing and doing stuff? What part do you really enjoy like the most?
Freestyling. Like old school freestyling, like getting up there with either a live band or a DJ, and we just turn the mics on and let's just go. Like I like to rap. Like I don't really. I mean, making songs are great, but my joy comes from seeing that crowd go crazy when you making lines about them. It's almost like being a comedian. You talking about people in the crowd. You talking about the rapper in front of you. You talking about what the band playing, but everything is off of here, and that comes from them younger years of being taught to read and being forced to do my homework and being forced to study. All that comes out in freestyling because my mind has so many different things to go and get some information from and throw it into a rhyme. So that is my absolute favorite part of it because nowadays people call freestyling a loose rap they have not attached to a song. And I'm just like, I'm hurt when I hear that because the art form has always been, pull it out of here right there on the spot and let's go. And I love to go to these open mics and just start rapping. And people are like, oh, where can I buy that at? I'm like, you can't. I made it up right now.
Yep.
So again, that's why I say a lot of my music that people love ain't even something you can go purchase because I will just do it for you right then and there. And it's the experience we have together that makes it special. That makes you go home and be like, oh, I love Torch. You know, so that's freestyling is just my favorite part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you get the name Torch? Your whole rap name. How did
Couple
you
different ways. I mean, the normal way everybody say your boy hot, you know what I mean? So, I mean, obviously, thank you, appreciate y'all, but it was an acronym coming up. So, I was real big on blackness and real big on togetherness. So the full name is Together One Race, could have overcome numerous enemies. That's what Torch One stand for.
Mhm.
When I lived in LA, my boy Willie Blazin, he passed away. And so to keep his memory alive, I took that part of his name and added it onto mine. So that's how I became Torch One Blazin'. So like when you Google me online, my albums, you'll find some music under Torch One. You'll find some music Torch ONE,
Mm-hmm.
or you'll find some music under Torch One Blazing.
Mm-hmm.
Because once Willie died, I took his name and said I'm gonna keep you on and going forward. Because, shout out to my LA family, Carte Blanche,
Yeah.
signed to Death Row Records. You know what I'm saying? My boy Deji LeRae, he's a director. He just got a new show I call Grits. He's
Yeah.
also a director on that show called Johnson's on Balance TV. So shout out to them. Them was my original rhyme partners when I was in LA from the 1305 boys that went on to do great things. Like I said, Carte's on Death Row right now, Days. Two of his shows are being nominated for awards right now. So always being surrounded by talent and just like successful people. And make sure y'all go check out Grits.
Yes.
I mean, make sure you check out Grits, man.
Yes.
G.R.I.T.S. Great show. It's about some young women out in Memphis, and I ain't gonna spoil it for y'all, but y'all gonna fall in love with it. But yeah, that's
Okay. All right, Sean.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? Now you did how many
About my
projects?
project, I would say one
Okay.
official project,
Mhm.
and that was Blow Your Mind, 2007. Released it on my own label with King Coop. So King Coop pretty much musically produced the majority of the album, and Coop and I executive produced. We put our own money into it and everything. Um, so it's still out right now on iTunes, of course, and then how we got it distributed is CD, baby. For the original heads out there, before streaming was like Torch said, you got it out the trunk. You got your hustle on out the trunk, or CD, baby. You send in your CD and then they digitize it for you, right? So Blow Your Mind, that was 2007. Got to work with King Coop, of course. Got to work with his family, Mark Knox,
Yeah, shout out to
on
Mark
that.
Knox. Name I ain't heard in a while. He pops up once in a
What?
blue moon on Facebook or IG. Yeah, I was like,
dang.
oh, there
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he
Right, King Cool was like, man, I got my family, coming. He gonna do this West Coast beat for you. You know what I mean? He was like our Northern Cali battle cat. You know what I'm saying? He's gifted and talented at the young age. He produced that West Coast song for me on Blow Your Mind when he was 16 years old. And I don't know if you remember, he was actually working when I don't know who was supposed to produce it, but the West Coast Bad Girls. We were supposed to do a West Coast Bad Girls compilation. Got to meet Conscious Daughters.
No.
That's when I don't know if I met Marvelous then, but got to meet a couple of cool people back then. So Playgirl Slim from Stockton. Um, a couple of other people, but was supposed to do the West Coast Bad Girls. I was supposed to be on there. Tavia Jenkins, Chef Steph, she was supposed to be on there. Steph Carter. So a couple of us, was supposed to be on there. It didn't come to fruition. But doing that album, that was '07. Doing a lot of shows around town. Did a lot of shows in Midtown. Did a lot of shows outside of Midtown, like Roseville. You know what I mean? And shout out Mr. P. Chill. That's my coworker right there. That was my coworker at AT&T. So he got me doing a he got me doing a lot of shows too. You know what I'm saying? And actually right before I put out Blow Your Mind. I was working on Blow Your Mind for a few years, when I was doing all these shows. I did not necessarily have, pressed up CDs at the time to give to people, right? But it got to the point where, my performance was so dope. People was like, you got to put out some sort of music, So that's when we started doing the CDs, pressing them up with the Sharpie, you know what I mean? But my mom back at the house, she was always on the computer, printing up stuff for the church and everything, because she was the youth director. And I was like, hey, mom, could you, print this up? She was like, yeah, you know what I mean? But I had to work on my project too at the house. You know what I mean? My mom always had me on the computer. So printed up some black and white copies of me after getting some photos taken from Ghetto Romeo.
Oh,
Rest in peace. Rest
yeah.
in peace.
Terrell
Rest in
Clark.
peace, Terrell Carter, Ghetto Romeo. He took my
Yes.
pictures, Alita.
Wow. Wow.
He took my pictures. Yeah, because I was working with them for a while. Like when I came back, I went to Alabama State right after
Mhm.
high school. I went to Alabama State University in Montgomery for one semester, and it was too slow for me.
Mhm.
came back, came back, 19 years old. Went, uh, went and met up with Lance Carter them through my through the folks, Kevin Adams.
Shout out to Kevin.
You remember? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shout out to Kevin.
Yeah, he
So
was the one
Out
Kevin,
to
that's
my
playing
boy
the drums
Kev.
at
yeah,
Genesis.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My guy.
so Kevin was like, man, got this sis right here. You know what I'm saying? She raw, she dope. You know what I mean? So that's when I got to meet Lance, and then Terrell, and then Lance was starting to produce a lot of songs for me. I was rapping with Tempting Tory, Keisha's brother.
Mm. Oh,
Yeah, and
oh.
then
Uh-huh.
yeah, and then Reggie,
Okay.
the cousin of the Carters. I'm trying not to give out too many names, but you
Mhm.
know, brother Hayes' son,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
who
yeah.
played the bass at Genesis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I was rapping with them, Alita. I was rapping with
Wow.
them for a minute, and then that's when I linked up with Coop. Coop was like, "Yo, I'm gonna produce all your songs, majority of your songs." And so yeah, got to print up my little demo. You know what I'm saying? And that's when you hear Chris Jones. Shout out Chris Jones. He would be every time he sees me today, he starts singing my rap song, my first rap
Does
song
he?
that really hit. Give Sean the mic, you know what I'm saying? Give Sean the mic, you know what? Rock it till the earth, late moan. They're
Oh,
like, baby,
oh my goodness.
I had this bubbly personality on stage. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, one album, Blow Your Mind. Y'all can still get that. Y'all can still listen to that. You could go to YouTube right now and put in Sean, SHAN hyphen SHAN, Blow Your Mind. You are. Go check that out. You know what I'm saying?
And then,
Yeah.
real quick,
That's her way of saying she ain't making no more.
I didn't make any more after that, really.
Then she not going to. That's her way of saying that. She said, go buy that album from 55 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't doing no more. If you liked it then, you're gonna like it again. Digitally remastered.
But, as I'm thinking about it, you know, shout out to, our Genesis family, because I'm still part of, Genesis,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
lot of people came out of Genesis. Look at you have, like, Larry Animal, being on the, what would we just say, the team, on award shows, traveling with major
Right.
artists. We had Rest in Peace, Mandisa. You know what I mean?
Rest in peace, Mandisa. Yes. Mandisa came
She
out of
came out of
Genesis.
Genesis. She was part of our Genesis family. You know what I mean? You know,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and I remember when the choir, remember when they went and sang back up for the Judds? Do you
Yeah.
remember that?
That was amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do
so
remember that. I don't know if I was a member then, but I do remember that.
yeah, so shout out to the Porter brothers, Pastor Ellington and Pastor Takor Porter, you know, just
Shout out
gotta
to the
give
Porter
shout out.
brothers.
Yes, the Porter
Actually, you
brothers.
know what? I, I think I'm on that album too. I think I'm on one of the albums. I did the rhyme, did the rap, did the
Oh,
small
really?
little rap for one of the songs. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I forget what it was,
Yeah,
but we got to go. We got to go back and find that.
probably Youth Explosion. Boy, I remember
Yeah.
my kids, I used to make them do that Youth Explosion every year.
They
So,
used to have they used to have the fattest, the nicest conferences between them and Mount Calvary. Oh my gosh.
Man, see
yes.
now I gotta shout out my one gospel song that actually did something. So shout out brother Joseph Jordan,
Yeah.
Minister Joseph Jordan, Pastor Joseph Jordan. You know you're probably elevated by now, but he had us do the Amazing Grace remix where I got to rap on that. I mean, and we actually got nominated for an award all the way in Boston for that song.
Man, that's
So
dope.
shout out brother Joseph Jordan. I ain't never gonna forget that experience because he used to always tell me like, man, you gospel for gospel rap. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm a heathen. I can't do that. But he put me on that one song, and that was a dope experience. And I'm listening to you talk every time you bring that up. You just your face light up.
Yeah. You know, the crazy thing about that Blow Your Mind CD, like when I came back from college, you know, I didn't do gospel rap anymore. I was pretty much doing, you know, I was doing fast rap, you know, because I was partying and being fast leader, you know what I'm saying? But I was just so me. I didn't care, you know, if you saw me in church or on the street, I was the same Shanti. I was the same Shan. I actually gave, you know, the Porter Brothers my CD with the parental advisory on it too. You know what I'm saying? But I mean,
But you know, they
they're
were
supportive.
down to earth. They was like, you know, Pastor.
Yeah, they're very supportive. Yeah, they're very
Remember,
supportive.
Pastor E used to say, I don't care. He said, don't you say nothing to nobody. I don't care if they just got finished smoking weed in the parking lot, come up in the church. They don't y'all judge nobody. Remember, he used to
Right,
always say
right.
that. You know,
Yeah,
that's
because he knows the foundation is
yeah.
always still going to be there. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, so I just like that the no judge zone. So, man, we could go
Yeah.
on all night, but I do want to get into how did Woodworks Media come about and let people know all about Woodworks Media.
So that's Woods WRX Media. It's a two-part story.
Mm.
So Woods WRX Media started out probably back in 2015, 2016.
Hmm.
You know, we had one camera, and I had a lot of conversation for people with cameras. And so in 2017, beginning of the year, we made a song that we took out to San Francisco, shot a video, shout out Mikey Gregorian, brought it back home. I don't think I slept for like 3 days editing the video. Um, you know, put it on YouTube. You look there, first thing you see at the bottom is Woods WRX Media.
Mm-hmm.
Because I went to college for digital media. It was always my dream to have my hands in the media world. I feel like as a black man, our voice is only going to be heard if we have our own platform to put it out there. And I've always felt like that, even when I was young. Um, Fast forward a few years later, you know, this podcast thing is starting to take off. People are really getting back into podcasting. You know, I'm getting back into like doing videos for myself and different things. And I'm telling my wife, I'm like, you know, I don't want to record music in a garage anymore. You know, I want to record music in an office space. I also don't want to do the podcast in the garage. I want it in a space that looks nice. I want it in a space that feels good. I want it in a space where people, when they come, they feel professional. They feel like, I want to be here. I want to pay you to be here. Like, this is something that's going to make me take myself to another level. And so, you know, I told her this just kind of not necessarily in jest, but just as I'm thinking out loud. So a couple of days later, she comes back and she's like, hey, look at these office spaces. Look at the cost. You know, what do you think? I'm like, yeah, you know, this is something I can do. You know, it'd be cool to have a partner to do it with, you know, that way we could split the cost, you know. Talked to a couple people, had a couple people there like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. Cool. Start going to these meetings, start booking these spaces, calling the guys, hey, y'all ready? They're like, nah, I'm not quite ready. Call somebody else, hey, you ready? No, I'm not quite ready. So, you know, I'm a little frustrated. Tell her, you know, whatever, I'm just gonna wait. You know, I get a raise in a couple months. I'll just pay for the space by myself. It's good. She said, well, hey, what if I just pick up the slack that they were gonna pick up and we do it together? And I'm like, well, why would you do that? She's like, well, you know, I miss being on a podcast myself because she, for a long time, did a lot of teaching online. So I said, cool. We did the math. We worked it out, make sure nothing affected the home, the mortgage, the cars, nothing like that. Everything was not going to be bothered if we invested into this. So, that covered the building. Then one smart move and another smart move led to not one camera, but three high-end cameras for video recording, one high and two high-end cameras for photography. It led into 4 or 5 high-end lenses, which makes the hugest difference when you're doing this. The
Yep.
lens matters almost as much, if not more, than the body you're using.
Yep.
Because the proper lens is how you're going to get your best shot. We both began to educate ourselves. Me being a contractor, we got the building in December. We were open May 1st.
December 2024.
Yeah, December 2024. We were open May 1st, 2025. I was able to come in here, rebuild the room, make it sound resistant, add all the walls, restructure everything to where instead of this being an office space, now it's like a gigantic booth when you walk in here.
Mhm.
That's why we're able to have this interview with you just sitting out in the open without even having to have our mics super close, because the way the room is built and structured, the sound quality is going to be high end.
Yep.
So I was still performing at the time,
Mhm.
but now when I'm going to these performances, we're pulling out with cameras now.
Yep.
And so people are curious. They're like, man, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? Like, oh yeah, we're rebuilding Woods WRX Media. Podcast coming soon.
Mhm.
Well, one lady, shout out to Jay Did It, aka Jamie Baptiste. She was the first to jump off the edge and say, hey, what are you guys charging?
Yep.
We sat down, talked to her, worked the numbers out. She started shooting her podcast, Thursday Therapies, here.
Yep.
Great addition to the family. Now we have our first regular customer. Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you, Jamie.
Brother through church, Coach Jarris Roberts from Kennedy.
JT.
We go by Coach JT. He does a show, 94 Feet with Coach JT. He came, took a tour, met us. We sat down and talked. Now we shoot his podcast out of here.
That right.
We sat down.
Mm-hmm.
We started working on our podcast. Now we shoot I Wish You Was podcast out of here.
Yeah.
Shout out Cousin P.
Cousin P.
We now shoot the Spot podcast out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Mr. Shepard and the other teachers from the Melanated Creative. We now shoot the Melanated Creative podcast out of here. So in less than a year's time, because our first day was May 1st, we now have 5 permanent podcasts out of this one room. We have a couple people that pay us for spots here and there. We're still doing music. So Woods WRX came from just not stopping.
Yeah.
It's always been a dream. Like I said, again, I went to college for digital media, but people saw the quality. But even more so, when they come here, they feel the people.
Yeah.
They love her to death because she's welcoming. She's giving out water bottles. It's clean. It's comfortable. Me, I don't talk as much as her, but I'm going to be in that chair working and editing. If something don't go right, I'm going to fix it. If I can't fix it, I'm going to pay for it to be right, or I'm going to give you your money back.
He's engineering. He's shortchanging himself. He's engineering.
Yeah, but long story short, we're not in this to take advantage of nobody.
Right.
And we're not in this to get rich off nobody. We in this to put out high quality entertainment, high quality media, and give access to people who in other terms wouldn't have it.
Yeah.
And that in a nutshell is what Woods WRX stands for.
Yeah.
My daughter, Kennedy Williams, shout her out. She got her own website, Cowrie Shells Archive, that she does out of Atlanta. It's just a family thing, man.
Yeah.
Like we want to give access to people who need it. Now, again, it's not free because, you want high quality. You do got to pay for it. But again, talk to me. Come work with me. Come see what we can do, what you can do, and we'll go from there.
Right.
Now, so when people do their podcast there, is it required that you guys are the one that films it, or do they sometimes bring their own people, or how does that work in case you guys are not available or something?
You have that.
Depends the package. So I have a package where you can rent the space. You can bring your own cameras. You can bring your own computer. You can come and just use the setup. I have a package where you can use my cameras. I am going to be here on standby, but you can work the boards. I have a package where I'm going to, be the main one doing everything. The
audio,
the video, everything else. Biggest thing is you just want to go to woodsworksmedia.com. Woods WRX Media.com. You'll see those different packages for the podcast, as well as for the vocal recording, as well as outdoor recording and venue recordings. Um, but yeah, we allow you to have the option to use the space as you see fit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And I need to give a shout out to Spittles is watching. I'm still waiting for her to rebook her
Hey,
interview,
what
but
up,
we talk
What up,
about that later.
Spittles?
partners in rhyme?
Hey, go get that album, man. Her and Emo did their thing, man.
Yeah.
We just saw them over there at the Good Luck Lounge last weekend, and when I say that show was amazing,
Yeah.
the music was amazing. The album Partners
Oh,
in
yeah.
Rhyme, man, go pick that up. It's available now on iTunes, man. Go get that. That
Yeah.
joint go crazy.
But
Yeah.
Shout
Emo
out
used
Emo
to,
too, boy. You
he
did
was my
your
host.
birthday.
Emo was my host for
Okay.
Funk on the Real Music Videos. He used to host the show and stuff.
Sack funk. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
used to
Yeah.
go
yeah.
way
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was so excited. I was so
Yeah.
excited to
Yeah.
have Spittles on, and she had to, something came up and stuff. But I've been waiting for her to say, Alita, I'm ready. Hint, hint,
Yeah,
Spittles.
Oh,
shout out.
she ready now. She got the product too.
She's
Just
saying, let's
dropped.
go. She's saying, let's go. Look, I'm ready. I've been waiting for her to hit me up to
Yeah,
reschedule.
shout out
Uh,
Spittles,
uh,
man.
uh, Spittles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I remember, of course, doing shows with Spittles. Spittles. It used to be a family thing at the Silk One and Silk Two. You know what I'm saying? On Del Paso. It used to be on Del Paso. It's actually Silk One is where Tap Wine Lounge is now, right? So
oh,
and then Silk Two, yeah, Silk Two used to be over here by the rink. But man, Spittles used to come out. Emo was promoting, doing shows all the time, getting us artists out, giving us an avenue, giving us a space, giving us the wherewithal to show our talents. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Shout them out. You was about to say something, Leah. We didn't mean to cut you off. What was
yeah,
you about
no,
to
no,
say?
no, no. No, and I was just thinking, it was just coming to my, I just feel like Spittles doesn't get all the recognition that she deserves.
Absolutely
She's
not.
been doing it
And
she's been
not.
doing it for so long. She's one of the ones, and
yeah,
Yeah.
and ever since I met her, even when we see each other, it's all love. But ever since I met her, she's always been such a genuine person and stuff. So I will always be a fan of Spittles, and everything.
Spittles, Karasi Rhymes.
yes,
You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yes. Yes.
Sounds of Solange, what she go by now. When I knew her back in the day, it was Miss Jordan. But yeah, these young women out here that have been grinding a long time, that are still out here working and making music. Ain't nobody forgot they got unique sounds. They got dope sounds.
yep,
And I'm always looking forward to seeing them drop something new. Just like I like the new people, like
yep,
Natasha Lanes, you know what I'm saying, with the poetry. It's a lot of new talent out here too, but
Yes.
all
Yes.
these young women out of Sacramento, man, they dope.
mm-hmm,
So, okay, so Woodwork Media, so people can
yeah,
book sessions. You guys go to that website, and let me just say this. Um, when you guys book, these are people who's building businesses, okay? And I'm pretty
yeah,
sure, you got to go through a screening process, right? But don't go tear up people's stuff. Don't be ratchet. Don't be, respect people businesses. Okay. I'm just gonna say that off the top right now. But go to their website, and ask, you guys do tours, right? You guys set up tours
yeah,
where people
Yeah.
come look. Set up a tour,
yeah,
but be business. We got to learn how to be business minded, not try to, get stuff for free or cheap or whatever. We got to support each other, and everything. We got to
yeah,
respect other businesses. So I just wanted to,
yeah.
say that. Is there anything else about Woods WRX Media you guys want to, talk about, or anything else you guys
Yeah.
got coming up? What else you guys, Woods WRX Media, anything else you guys got coming up?
Yeah, just real quick, one thing I do want to say about Woods WRX Media, and then I'll let her talk about the podcast. Um, bring your students. One of the main reasons why this space exists is so that we can teach the next generation how to be great.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a young high school or middle school student who wants to learn how to create a podcast, who wants to learn how to use a camera, who wants to learn how to use the different programs and equipment, even who wants to learn the music, get with us, book a session. The first one's always free. Um, you do have to sit with them as a parent because, like she said, if something gets broke, you know, I ain't paying for it. But exposure is how these kids
Yeah.
become great at this art form.
Yeah.
And so, you know, if you really have a kid or a student who's really serious about it, you know, our schedule is pretty busy, but
Yeah.
if we could get that in there together, let's do it. You know, if you're at a local high school and you have a kid or a team that you want highlighted, you want a video made or some clips to be taken, you know, talk to us. You know, we have extremely discounted rates for schools, parents of athletes.
Yep.
Where we'll come out, we'll make highlight videos for you. But anything that'll help, and it's not just sports. Well, I will go do recitals. I'll go shoot your kid playing the clarinet.
Right.
I mean, like the point being, if you, with life and technology going the way it's going, exposure is everything. And so whether you want to expose them on how to do it or you just want to help build a better exposure for them, reach out to us. Let's see what we can work together.
Yeah.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
it.
I would like to yeah, I would like to add when Torch said we do outside events, yes, he means that when we do basketball games, football games, recitals, we do fashion shows as well. This weekend we're doing a grand opening for a thrift store. Shout out Samira and Pretty Little Treasures. You know what I'm saying? So any memorable moment you want captured, we can get that for you. And you know, we always talk about pricing. You know, we're not out here to take from our people. And also we don't take your money and run. You know, we actually, you know, involve and invest some of our own ideas too, if you let us, you know what I mean? Because as you hear, we're creatives, right? We're creatives, and we know how it is when you get all of us together, we brainstorm, who knows what can come of it, right? So yeah, you can go to woodsworksmedia.com, like he said, WOODSWRXMedia.com. So yeah, we got a lot of things going on. Also, our own podcast. I wish you would.
The podcast.
What
The
is that
podcast.
about?
So I
What is
wish.
that about?
Oh, you want to know what that's about?
So
I
I
wish
wish
you
you
would.
was the podcast is about a married couple going through life, sports, current events, gossip, good times, without trying to tell you how to be in a relationship.
Right.
Just because you married don't mean we trying to get some married advice. You say that for the single married gurus who ain't got nobody at home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We gonna talk real life because that's what it is, man. When you got somebody by your side that's your friend, your partner, you know what you experience.
Yeah.
You experience life together. So, you know, it's really just a good look in an open window to us as people, us to our thoughts with society. We have great guests. We have great people on here. We had Mariana Souza on the show.
Yep.
You know, one of the dopest people out here in Sacramento when it comes to education and giving back to the community. We had Keon Johnson on the show, which was a big one. You know what I mean? Like it's been fun. Babe, what do you think the show's about?
And then sometimes we take some subjects and topics and controversial things to the neck, where it's just me and him talking. We're not really giving advice or trying to tell people what to do or how to live. We're just like, hey, let's talk about these things that are on people's heart, mind, soul, and spirit. And we're talking amongst ourselves, giving our perspective and say, okay, a lot of times we got this thing going on. We see this. Let's be solution oriented as well, right? So we just have a good time doing it. So not much of the gossip, but you know, we can get into it if we want. You know what I'm saying? We're not game goofy. You know what I mean?
Right.
We could do some reaction videos and talk about all that stuff. You know, we
Plus,
like,
sometimes I get my hair did and I shave this. And so, ladies, I wouldn't miss it. That's all I'm saying. And her, she be letting her hair down sometimes. I'm just, you know, sometimes you might just want to look. You could put it on mute, but, you know, I'm just saying.
Right.
It's many reasons to tap in. But what you want to do is make sure you tap in.
Yeah.
I Wish You Was the podcast.
We're on YouTube.
I do have one more question. So when you guys do your filming and stuff, right? What is your turnaround time?
Depends on like what we've filmed
for you. So podcasts can be turned around same day if time permits. So if you book for 2 hours but you film for an hour, I can have your podcast back to you within that 2 hour time frame. Videos and events are going to take a little longer just because you're working with multiple camera angles,
Yep.
different things that require more delicate timing. Podcasts, even though I'm shooting 3 cameras at a time, I can actually edit live and then compare it to what I would do if I had to adjust some things. Whereas shooting an event, it's going to take me a little more time. I really need to sit down. You're tired after you shoot the first day, you know, so I like to have people's stuff back to them within a week, 2 weeks at the latest. If it's 2 weeks, that means like it was a really intricate event. I like to get it back to you within a week. Because I just don't think you should have to wait that long for your product.
Well, yeah, I would say 3 weeks tops. You know, certain things come about. You know, we got a lot of people, you know, booking for different sports events, different certain outside events, whether it be for, you know, like we said, the grand opening, whether it be for like a video shoot, right? We do video shoots as well, and we could do all those crazy graphics and special effects. We can do all that too.
3 weeks have to be a movie though, because I can't even think of something that would make me have to sit there that long.
And if something comes up.
Yeah, because the biggest thing about us is I don't film randomly.
Right.
Like, especially if this is something for you that you want done specifically, have a shot sheet. You know, have some preparation done so when I walk in, I know what you want to see.
Like a treatment.
So I can shoot in that order. If not, tell me what you want to see, and I'll create a shot sheet for you. So when I go back to review my footage, I'm not scrambling around looking for shots. I know how I shot the shot, what time I shot the shot. You know, I can go back to my footage. I can look for certain time code stamps and edit from there. So just preparation. Preparation allows the work to get back to you faster.
And communication with you. We communicate, and we want to hear your ideas. We want to hear your vision. We want to see your drawing board. You know, what you imagine your footage to come out as, right?
Okay.
So
And lastly, you can pay to skip the line. Let's just go ahead and say that.
I'm gonna tell y'all right, we don't be robbing people. We do got to get compensated. However, we understand, you know, people's priorities monetarily is in a different space at this time. You know, you got to pay rent, you got to pay mortgage, you got to pay for these high groceries, you know, even though gas and...
She's being nice.
Man.
You can pay to skip the line. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. Come holler at us. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
We gonna give you good quality audio visual wise, and it's gonna fit your pocket just right.
Wow. Man, I could go on and on. Man, you guys got to come back. You know, we already an hour and a half. We already done. But I learned.
Oh, wow.
That's what's up.
I mean, you know, hey, you know, you guys, I'm very blessed to know you guys, I seen you guys, like I said, I seen you guys from the beginning to now. And you know, the elevation and the favor and the blessings that's coming over you guys. I'm excited. I can't wait to in a few months, y'all be like, Lita, we got some, look, we got something else we need to come back on. Whenever you guys want to come back on.
We're gonna have you in here.
Yeah, we're gonna have you in here next time.
Yes, we have to get you here, Alita.
Yes, I will be there. Just let it get a little bit warmer. Because I told you guys, I can't deal with this cold.
Girl, our heater work, you know what I'm saying? Plus these lights too, they'll keep you warm.
I know, but I was like, I was like, oh, it's to be cold to be walking anywhere, So, but
okay,
you gotta get from the car to the door.
Right, you did.
I know. It's like, woo, but it's just crazy. But anytime you guys want to come back on, so go ahead. Shout out website handles, however people could get in touch with you. Let them know before we get off.
So Instagram, my personal Torch One Blazing, Sacktown Blazing. That's how you could find me. Woods WRX Media at Instagram. I Wish You Woods for the podcast. Facebook, Daryl Woods. You can find me. You can find Woods WRX Media on Facebook as well as DA Woods for any of your business needs. YouTube is I Wish You Woods podcast on YouTube, as well as Woods WRX Media on YouTube. Those are going to be the best spots. And then if you just want to hear strictly music, Torch One Blazing on YouTube.
Yeah, so y'all know my handle on Instagram, IG, and Facebook. That's Shanti Doc, SHAN-T, and then DOC, right? That's my personal. And then, like Tor said, for I Wish You Woods podcast and Woods WRX Media, both on YouTube, right? Both on YouTube, on IG and Facebook as well. We do also have TikTok, right? We have TikTok for I Wish You Woods and Woods WRX, or do we just have TikTok for Woods WRX?
Shout out to my young trainee Drees, man. I'm sorry, man. I got to get you this data. It's going to be for the I Wish You Woods podcast, but it's up, but I still got to send you some clips over. But we on TikTok, you know, we on, we on Messenger, we on, most importantly, we on Cash App and Venmo.
And I need a shirt.
He said most importantly.
Yeah, most important.
That's not the most important, you know, but no.
We got to give a shout out to, we got to give a shout out to, we can't forget the best choir director, Yvonne Adams.
What up, Vaughn?
No, she's not on there. We just got to shout her out. The best choir, you know.
We got that from Auntie Quincy.
Because I was just gonna say I'm biased to Quincy. You know, Quincy, my dog now. Like I keep telling everybody, with Quincy in the room, you know, everybody hold their breath.
Yeah, that's Northern Cali.
Which Quincy?
You're a Quincy at Elwha. What? Sacramento Metropolitan. Chapter rep.
Okay, yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, the chapter rep. Yeah, that's we got those directed skills from her. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, I just had to shout out to my girl Yvonne. You know, we don't shout out.
Oh yeah, shout out Yvonne. Shout out family.
Shout out True Conglomerate. Tim Cooper, Denise Cooper, King Coop, Denise, True Conglomerate, right? TrueConglomerate.com. If y'all in Waukegan, Chicago, Illinois, and y'all need some work, whether it's outside work, they do big events as well. They do podcasts as well. They've done commercials as well. Get with them too. You know what I'm saying? Shout out. That's our sisters. That's our sister station. They came here and blessed us. You know, when we had no equipment really in the room, they came through with their presence and they gave us their graces. It's like, y'all already got it. Just when y'all gonna open. I remember King was like, man, he looked around, he was like, when y'all gonna open?
Yeah.
Because he knew.
Shout out them.
Thank y'all.
You know, and again, you know, last but not least, just make sure you keep your kids involved. Shout out BTU Arts. If you want them to learn music, make sure you guys reach out to BTU Arts. Shout out Spotlight Hair Studios. They're always doing free haircuts for kids. They're always doing giveaway and events. You know what I'm saying? Let them know. That's a good spot to go. You know, shout out us here at Woods WRX. Like I said, come let your kids learn media.
Shout out to
you know, just keep your kids involved. You know, shout out all these coaches, these athletic directors that are giving their time and their effort to keep these kids involved in sports. Just keep them involved, keep them believing in themselves, and that's how you're going to create young, great men and women.
I do want to shout out to all the up and coming Sacramento underground artists right now, and Sacramento kind of mainstream artists as well. Those we see y'all. Yeah. We see y'all, and we want to say keep doing what you're doing. Right?
Keep grinding, keep growing for the city.
Yeah, and y'all work together. You know what I'm saying? There's, you know, if it's competition, it's friendly competition. Remember, you can always collab. You can get somewhere working together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I wanted to say this too. Next time Big Omeezy comes into town, you know, he likes having those like the conversations. Y'all,
shout out Big Omeezy, yeah.
I'm gonna find out his schedule.
Oh yeah, that's all good.
Get him here.
Because he'll be good.
Oh, that's good. You know, we got to do a show with him and
Lil Flip.
And Lil Flip.
Yeah.
I was on the ticket with Big Omeezy and Lil Flip. So yeah. So shout out Big Omeezy, man. I would love to have you on the show.
Yeah, I'll get him on there. I'll get that done and stuff, because he's always back and forth and stuff. You know what I mean? And maybe we could get JB on there, talk about some, you know, he does the fitness trainings, or even Muggs, 40's brother Muggs, you know, because you know, a lot of people are not doing what they're supposed to be doing with fitness. You know what I mean? And
I'm starting over too with that too.
Huh?
Yeah, I said I'm starting over with that myself.
Yeah, because you was on me at one time.
Pumped, you know what I mean? I had the sore wrist for a while, and now it's good. So I get back to it. But I do want to say, I know we ain't ended yet. Prayers to Mr. Fab and
Oh,
Dope Era.
yeah, I text
May
him this
Yahweh be
morning.
with you. You going
Yeah.
okay? You gonna be back up and running,
Oh yeah.
and it's probably gonna be bigger and better.
That's what I told
So
him. I text. I think I
yeah,
texted him this morning, and I said, you know, another level has your name on it. That's what I texted him and told him.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, shout
Man,
out
and if y'all don't know how money works, stop hating on that man.
That's
People
right.
talking about, oh, well, I just seen him, he just bought a lamb or he just bought a. Listen, that don't necessarily mean that cash is in the bank to go
Correct.
bounce back for a burnt down store. It's
Correct.
the reason why there's insurance. It's the reason why there's credit. It's the reason why there's banks. It's the reason why we do things a certain way, not run around with millions of dollars in the backpack.
Come
like
on.
this man lost something that he's building for the community.
That's right.
Stop
Yeah,
hating
you
on
know,
him. Quit supporting.
I haven't
You know what I
heard,
mean?
I
Quit
haven't
arguing with
heard
his
that.
supporters.
I haven't heard that, but all I know
Oh
he
yeah.
did
I
so
have.
Oh
much
yeah.
for, you know, so many toy drives and
Uh-oh.
Stanley.
Okay, go ahead. Okay.
Stanley does a lot for, the kids and
Yes, he
Yep.
does.
the adults, doing the turkey drive. He has stuff
Yep,
all
doing
the
the
time.
backpacks.
So
Man,
Yeah.
yeah.
back to school.
And then speaking of, Mr. Fab, we gotta give a shout out to his cousin Root Dog. Root,
Shout out Root,
you're gonna be
Rupert Carter.
cancer free, bro. You're gonna be cancer free.
Yeah, he getting healthy. Shout
Keep
out
praying for Root.
JDK too.
Who? Oh, JDK.
JDK. Yeah,
And
shout
keep
out
Shadow in your
JDK.
prayer too, because we, Roop and Shadow, just keep them in your prayers and stuff, and they're gonna get through it. They're gonna most definitely get
Shout
through it.
out Corrupt too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Right.
yeah,
Yep.
Corrupt. I
You
had a
feel
chance
me?
to
I'm
meet
glad
him years
Corrupt.
ago too. Yeah, Corrupt's a cool guy too. So, all right.
Yeah, he tapped in, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a part 2, y'all. Thank you, Woods WRX Media.
Yeah.
I appreciate man, we could go all night. So all right, y'all. Book, don't forget, Woods, WOODS, WRX Media.com. Book a session, book a tour, book, for them to come take pictures, do a video. And I'm just gonna say this real quick, then I promise I'm getting off. If you got a business, especially like real estate, right? If you need somebody to come take pictures of a house, or you about to give keys to a client.
Well, we do videography. Videography.
Yeah, if you're about to give keys to a client, how would it be? You would have Woods WRX Media there getting ready to film. Your clients pull up, you're doing a whole video, right? Giving keys, or even if you have a new listing or something, walking them through, doing the thing. I'm gonna be doing that. I'm gonna tell you right now, I got them, So, and if you have other businesses, you have a hair salon or something, you just get creative and and collab. It's all about the collaboration. It's all about supporting each other, because guess what? They know people, you grow their business, it's just a collaboration, growing each other's business, right? So,
Oh yeah.
yeah. So,
Shout out business.
Yeah.
all right, Spittles, hit me up, lady. All right, I'll see you later. All right, you guys. Good night.
All right.
Good night, Alita.
Good night, everyone. Blessings.